Hello and welcome back to another review. This time it's the Russian Tarot Lubok, which is in Russian, made in Russia, and is one of the very few deeply Russian, not only created but Russian inheritance deck. So we are not going to do a flip through, but the in-depth story time kind of review about what is depicted on the images, where they come from, and etc. So not every image on these cards is taken from an actual Lubok or story or folk tale. This is a tribute to the very unique Russian heritage and traditional beloved style of imagery. And many of the images are actually like redone or done in the style of Lubok. And before we start, let's dive in what the Lubok means. It means popular print, where the imagery is telling a story. Usually there is image and added a little verse or a poem or a song even, or just a educational piece of idea or something. And Luboks were really popular in medieval times in Russia, and the main characteristics of a Lubok are that they were cheap to produce, and also they were accessible to the lower classes. And people in these lower classes were using the Lubok prints as inexpensive artwork in their homes. And these were like really popular, hanged around in Russian peasant homes, so to speak. They were sold in markets and in when the church days were held, and places of pilgrimage. So poor people valued this type of art, because this is the type of art they could afford to make their homes beautiful and to look at. There were many different types of Luboks, and the topics were folk tales, the hero legends, also jokes and satire, then poems and songs, also local festivities and traditional holidays, then folk sayings and teachings, also religious messages and stories like the Last Judgment or virtues and evils, etc. So from funny images to really cognitive illustrations. There were Luboks for children, for example, alphabet and numbers, also fairy tales and wise lessons. Also, political Luboks were really popular and propaganda. So this type of things were the Luboks. It means, it sounds in Russian like it's Lubochная картинка, which means the cheap or beloved popular print or image. Nikolai Nekrasov, who was Russian poet, and he has said in one of his poems, which was named "Who Lives Well in Russia," had a verse of poor man hanging the pictures of Lubok on the walls, and when the fire broke out in the house, he rushed to save his treasures, and first things he tore the pictures off the wall. So that important were the Luboks for the poor people. And many of the authors of the actual Luboks are unknown because they were printed anonymously, especially the ones that depicted political or satire of some sort. And at one point the censorship did not allow the topics of political or satirical propaganda, and then the Luboks actually did not stop, but they went like underground and were handed out or distributed otherwise, but they were still very much alive. If we today would have to name the Lubok, what they mean or what they are, we would probably name them as iconographics sort of art. So let's have a look-see. The box, I love the box. It looks like 3D, as you can see, but it actually is not. It's very subtle. You can feel the thing very, very subtle, but not as, but it looks like as if it's 3D and wooden. And there's 80 cards in here. Box looks like this. The artist is I don't have the, I don't know if his first name is actually mentioned here. No, it's not. Doesn't look like it is. Only the initial is E or E Vinitsky, and the person behind the idea is very famous tarotist in Russia, S. Savchenko. All right, let's dive in. The backs look like this. The little white book is only keywords additionally for what the deck is already saying, because there are keywords on every card. I'm not going to read these from here. I will only read or tell you what words or verses on the cards are. If you want me to read also separately in a separate video the meanings that are in the little white book, let me know down in the comments. I will also leave a English version of the so-called little white book, which comes like the online version, the page of it down in the description box. But I actually looked at the English and the Russian version, and it's quite different in some cases, so maybe some things are lost in the translation. Let me know if you want to see or know or hear what the little white book actually says. So this is the card for the significator thing, the gentleman and the lady, whoever the cards are pulled. This is a old Slavic tradition to add the significators always. I'm not doing that sometimes not. All right, the first card is the Zero, the Joker or the Fool. This is actual Lubok, a little bit stylized on the image. The one horn to the hat has been added and it's a little bit changed, but strongly recognizable as the Farnos, the red nose. And the story about this character is that Petrucha Farnos was jester and musician, buffoon, and he is actually derived from German Hanswurst character, and both are used actually also as mockery and insult to someone, this name. He is half doltish, half cunning, and partly stupid, partly knowing, enterprising and cowardly, self-indulgent and merry fellow who, in accordance with circumstances, accentuated one or other of these characteristics. So I made some notes to myself, so I'm reading you this, and my reading is not so smooth. So you can hear that the Fool is actually very well picked from the Luboks. So here, the Fool, Magician. Oh, and the keywords in here are child, fool or simple-minded, and naivety. Magician. Magician here is 2 Luboks in 1. The goat is actually from 1 Lubok, and the magician character with the table is from another. Of course, there are the tarot elements added, but this is the drummer guy is a Russian idiom of the retired goat drummer. This is a saying for the street performers and wandering artists who usually traveled with a dog or a goat or a bear, even who they had trained to do tricks and earn them their bread. And why the retired goat drummer? Because old soldiers who were retired were usually going around with drum and doing just that because they had no other job. And they were like forced to wander around and earn their food with tricks and charlatan. Nowadays, the phrase, actually, the retired goat drummer, is also in use, and it has a different meaning a little bit. It means a person who tries to impersonate or be or show themselves to be knowledgeable in area about which they actually don't know much about, or someone who has insignificant position in life and therefore not worthy of attention. So, for example, if someone is asked, who is he to you, and then the other person may answer, he is the retired goat drummer, which means insignificant, or little, means little to me. And the goat is from the Lubok bear and goat street performing buffoons. And the keywords for the magician are youth, creation, and energy, focused creation. Now, next one is the high priestess or priestess in here. This is very popular character on Luboks and fairy tales. This is mythological creature of Russian legends. This is Sirin. It has similar characteristics to the sirens, and he's her counterpart, or the other side was the Alkonost, two-bird womans, one of the day, one of the night, and Sirin is the night bird. They had a beautiful voice and they sang songs to the saints, were foretelling future joys. So they were somewhat diviners. They are metaphor of heretics tempting the weak. They were birds of paradise, and they sang prophetic songs about future bliss. But these songs are harmful to the weak or fool. They can lose their minds hearing these songs. Sirin is considered a bird of the night, the messenger of the underworld as well. She has unique ability to control all the elements. And then the counterpart, or the Alkonost, was the darker side of these two. They look a lot alike, but are still shown either with the moon or the sun, and sometimes the breasts are out, etc. So here the triple moon is added, but and the moon under the feet. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, but they are usually sitting or standing on some tree. And the keywords are intuition, secrets, and charms. Next card is the Empress. Here is no story behind this Lubok. This is made to fit and drawn to fit the Lubok style, and also tarot. So here we can see just the lady, or the Empress, with cornucopia and the ball of power, or the world ball. Usual elements and symbolics. And the keywords are pregnancy, mother, and productivity. Now the Emperor, same story. There are used parts of actual Luboks, as the city here and this angel giving the wisdom through the book, the enlightenment through the wisdom. Or the God's knowledge and power on earth, and support from the heavens. So the keywords are father, responsibility, and might, or power, mighty power. Hierophant. Again, no actual Lubok for this. Made to fit the tarot in Lubok style. You can see the rich man and the poor man alike in front of him, and the keywords are social norms, church and religion, and straightforward. Lovers. There is a Lubok of Peter the Great and her wife Ekaterina. where this image is gotten from, but they were like standing more apart from each other in the Lubok. Added is the snake and the tree, and the angel is taken again from another Lubok. And the keywords are close relationships, frivolous or carelessness, and pleasure. Chariot. This is part of Lubok called Vova the Korolevich, or Vova the King's Son, or the Prince, and Polkan, and this is the Polkan here. Polkan is a as well as a hero of Russian, Belarusian, and Ukrainian folklore. Is like Slavic centaur. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. And also depicted as half man, half dog sometimes. He is Slavic demigod with incredible strength and quickness. He could overcome a large distances or with one jump, or like they say 7 miles with one jump, and so on. So also Polkan has become a household name for people of extraordinary powers or strengths. But here the bag is added. On the original Lubok there's no bag with gemstones. And the keywords are victory, trip, and profit or gain. Gains. Now the strength. This is changed Lubok. Here we can see a person who has their breasts out. They only depicted the easy women like this, or the unpure, let's say prostitutes, like this. And what she is riding on, this is the very famous Russian character, the serpent Gorinich, who represents the evil principle in Russian folk tales and epics. Gorinich name is derived from Gara, which means a mountain. So he is of the mountain or from the mountains, and in stories he lives inside mountains, or emerges from them, or emerges from water, and he is the reason behind earthquakes and all such things in nature. So you can see right off the bat that the legend is very, very similar to the Greek typhus story, where the mighty snake was also living in the mountains, and after Zeus conquered it is believed to be living inside the volcano mountains. So this is usually, the serpent is usually depicted in stories where the heroes are fighting him to win a girl back, because the Gorinich was very eager to steal all kinds of maidens and wives to himself, and was a huge nuisance to the society overall. And always there was a hero who then had to face him and either kill him or win him some sort of other way. But here the maiden rides the Gorinich, has tamed him, and also has a little lion hooked or leashed up here. And if we would not like look at the actual hint to the prostitute or the breasts out thing, then I would say that this is the maiden that the Gorinich has kidnapped, and she tamed the Gorinich to do what she wants and not other way around, and rides him back home, because you can see the castle here. Take it as you will, there's many ways to explain this. And the keywords are overcoming and inner strength. Next is the Hermit, made to fit the actual tarot card Lubok style. Just the snake has been added as the hint to the father time, or the hermit being the prudence, as many think he is, but he's actually not. He is the hermit, or the time only. And the keywords are wisdom, old age, and teacher. Wheel of Fortune, carousel or the merry-go-round. Not an actual Lubok, but carousels are very popular in children's art, and usually the cute animals are going around and around on the imagery. Also, carousel represents a series of quickly alternating events or happenings, or a mess, or a whirlwind of happenings that you can't control always. But as it's always fun also, then you can see the understanding of the wheel here. They are having fun, yet it is out of their control. The machine stops when the machine stops, not when they want to get off the ride. And here is the sunny part of the wheel, or the up, let's say, and this is the downside, or the rainy part. And the meaning, or the saying here, is all passes this too, or this too will pass. Justice. Again, no actual Lubok or even parts of it, but there's hidden things in here. Look at this. First of all, the scrolls, aka the laws, and the axe, and the hood of the executioner with the eye holes. Do you see that? So she is not only the law itself, but also an executioner, as we all are, because we, with our decisions, can execute something or someone along our way. So judge carefully. And the keywords are collision with law, divorce or disruption or break, not divorce per se, and procedure or operation. Hanged man or the hanged one. Again, not an actual Lubok, but made to fit both styles, the tarot and the Lubok. You can see the money falling out from the pockets, and one of the keywords also is material loss. The other keywords are victim and getting rid of the old, or losing the old. Death. Death is part of a Lubok, which is called Anika, the warrior, and death. There's a really popular story about this Anika the warrior, which he is a personification of a person who brags his way through danger. In the folk tale, the Anika brags with his strength and overcomes or kills even defenseless people on his way, just to show his strength and brag with his kill score, so to speak. So finally he meets the death, and the death blames him from bragging and doing all this BS. So Anika is not afraid of the death and calls for a duel, where death quickly overcomes him. So he now starts begging for his life. So the death have mercy upon him, but death will take him or kill him. And here you can see the actual as the Lubok was done. Only this was not the Anika, but Anika was here upon the horse. This is someone who he has just killed again, and now death takes also him. So the keywords are busy times or time flies, and transformation. Temperance, again, not a Lubok, but very often seen character on the Luboks, the village lady who carries water from the river or lake, and these types of women were usually seen on different types of village life Luboks as a very important part of it, because women's job was to bring water to the house while men were out working on something else. And the keywords for the temperance are slow times, decay or extinction, and autumn. So busy or quick times and slow times with this one. And next is the devil. The devil character has been taken from the Lubok that depicted the sea creature and the forest creature. This one was the forest creature or forest ghost or whatever, however it was called. And here he is made to look like devil, with people on the leash, and earth is shattering around him. Also you can see the what are these mushrooms, the red dotted ones, red with white dots. What are they? I can't remember what they are in English, but these poisonous that make you hallucinate when you eat them. So keywords are temptation, evil, fear or anxiety, and devilish intrigues or machination. Next card is the Tower. Again, no Lubok exactly, but made to fit both needs. So the keywords for this are impact or strike, collapse or crash, and catastrophe. The Star. Characters are made to fit the Lubok style, but as you can see here, it is totally different as we can see on the tarot. So this one has not made to fit the tarot style, but more of the idea of the author's vision of the tarot meaning, the card meaning for this one. I'm not sure, I didn't find any type of actual Lubok for this, but in our parts of the woods there is a saying when a man promises to bring stars and the moon to the girl to get his way, then he is a con artist. And here we can see something like that happening. The guy is somewhat playboyish and tries to impress the lady here. Also interesting that the extra chariot is added, so we can only understand that this is the road to somewhere. There's road sign, and this man is part of this maybe bringing some kind of goods from one place to another. He's just passing through, and he's trying to smitten this lady with promising her something in order to maybe get her into the bed or something like that. Very bad, very bad. So let's see. The keywords for this are hope, soul, and illusions. So he has hope, she maybe has hope, but this hope may be in illusion. Very different from the usual Rider-Waite depiction, this one. The moon, no actual Lubok again, but made to fit both styles. And the keywords are fog, psyche or mind, and witchcraft. The sun, this is two Luboks put together. The one is of Atlas, holding up the world, and the Lubok's name was The World of the Russian Person. And the sun he is holding is from another Lubok, which was depicting the zodiac signs and the sun in between them. And the keywords are, I'm always forgetting the keywords. The keywords are gold, light, and health. The judgment or the doomsday, or the terrible judgment in Russian. This is totally made. This card even a little bit for me is out of the Lubok style. Not much, but it doesn't fit as well for me. But here is the scales of weighing the souls. Here's the underworld or the devil's world, and the stairs to heaven. Every details here. The angels, the people emerging from the earth, and the keywords are prolonged process or long process, cold or coldness, and court. And the last one for the majors is the world card. This part here, the angel, has been taken from the Lubok, which tells a story about Adam and Eve. A fragment of said Lubok. And the keywords are all dreams coming true, absolute harmony, and paradise. And here's the white card, or the carte blanche, carte blanche, which in Russian style of reading cards is usually there and is read as the carte blanche is read. All possibilities are open, or the future is right now unknown or unseen. You have to do something or change something in order to fill this blank. Or carte blanche usually means you have free will to do whatever you want to do. So this is the majors. I'm not going to pull that string too tight, and will take a little pause myself, and will be coming back to the minors and the suit of swords. So we will meet in the next video. Thank you, and come again.